Hello, my name is Ruth Carter, and I'm a licensed attorney in Arizona. And this is your question of the day. So, somebody asked me, what advice do you have for kids ages 11 to 14 and their parents about consent? What it is, who it applies to, why it's important, how to ask for consent, examples of language for denying consent, etc. Okay. I think this question has to do with a larger issue of boundaries. And it's not just about starting this conversation when children are in that prepubescent and pubescent mode, but talking about appropriate touch throughout their life and keeping hands and feet to self and not touching people without their consent. And you can talk about verbal and nonverbal ways to give consent, like you can ask, can I hold your hand? As well as just extending your hand to the person. And if they take it, they've consented. In regards to like sexual consent, there is a fantastic video out there about relating consent to offering somebody tea. And how you can offer someone tea, and if they say yes, you give them tea. If they say no, you don't give them tea. And you don't force them to drink tea. And how if you look at it, if you look at consent for intimate contact the same way you would look at offering someone tea, it's ridiculous to look at, like thinking like that people can think it's okay to have sex with somebody without consent. Likewise, you can take that example and apply it down to things like kissing, dating, physical touch, spending time with somebody, and how if you've consented to go out with somebody once, that doesn't mean you're going to consent to go out with them again. Or if you've kissed them once or made out with them once, that's not consent to do it again. You have to get consent every time. There's also a fantastic book that I recommend to parents called The Gift of Fear. It's by Gavin de Becker. He also wrote the book Protecting the Gift. He is a security expert and gives really good information about dealing with security issues, listening to that gut feeling, and how to protect your children. So if you haven't read them, I strongly recommend them. One lesson that you can teach, I don't recommend the book for someone so young they may not be ready for it. Around age 16 is when I say children should read it. But you could teach the lessons from within it, like somebody who can't hear the word no is trying to control you. I would also have conversations with children about someone who's trying to force you to do something you don't want to do. What does that tell you about them? Maybe it says that they only care about themselves. They don't respect you. And is that somebody you want to be affiliated with or have contact with? And is it okay to say no in those situations, regardless of your past interactions you've had with this person, if any? So, that I would also just talk to children about it's okay to go slow, like getting to know people. And there's a reason like they have the bases, first base is kissing, second base is more, and like it's not a do everything with a person the first time you go out with them. You develop over time, and there's nothing wrong with just being friends with people you might be attracted to and taking it from there if it develops into dating and more, and determining what your boundaries are and when. And that's getting into an area of where I stopped having like the language to speak articulately about it, because I've never thought about how do I teach a 12-year-old about consent, because I've never had to do it. On the flip side, before I was a lawyer, I did work in the mental health industry for 9 years, including at a facility for children with psychological disorders. And I can tell you, we had people who were age 11, 12, 13, 14 who were sexually inappropriate with peers. And we had to watch out for that behavior. And worry about it. These were people who had either engaged in grooming behavior, predatory behavior, who were sex offenders, maybe not registered, but did the types of activities that would lead them to be classified as such. So they do exist within this age group. So you do have to be aware and cautious, even at that young age, and be able to set those boundaries. So for anybody in the situation where you're having these conversations with children about consent, wow, good luck. I do not envy your task. It's got to be challenging to be age appropriate, but also covering the scope of what you have to cover. If there are follow-up questions you want me to answer, feel free to shoot me an email, leave it as a comment below. I can't guarantee I can answer it, but I can try. I hope this has been helpful for you. Please subscribe to the channel. I put out new content every week. And remember, watching this video does not create an attorney-client relationship with any viewer. It's merely legal information, not legal advice. If you need legal advice, go hire somebody. But I hope this has been helpful. And until then, I will catch up with you later. Take care.